This is an article that came out in Politico November 5th, 2017. Over 65% of the American people say that Trump has accomplished very little since taking office. And it's the truth. And it makes me laugh how he keeps trying to criticize other presidents or trying to claim they didn't do nothing, but they've done a hell of a lot more than he did. At least they did sign legislation and they did their jobs. Trump spends most of his time on the golf course and he has not signed one single legislation into law since he's been in office. Okay, we are coming up on the year since he's been elected, and we have seen very little to nothing from this man. He does more on Twitter than he does for the American people, and that's the truth. Trump's approval rating have continued to dive. Just 37% of Americans approve of his job performance. In the latest ABC News Washington poll, his net approval rating of negative 22% points is the lowest for any president at 9 months in office in polling dating to 1946. So since 1946, Trump has the lowest approval rating out of all presidents. Woo, this man needs to shut up and just do his job. Except for Gerald Ford, no other president had netted a negative at this point in his presidency. That's pretty bad. Ford was a horrible president too. No defense, y'all. Trump is going to go down as the dumbest sitting president of all time. He's going to go down as the absolute dumbest to ever serve in the office. Moreover, 65% of Americans say Trump has accomplished either not much or little to nothing as president, up from 56% after his first 100 days for a president who consistently say he is accomplishing things at unprecedented pace. Only 35% of respondents agree that he is keeping his major campaign promises. No, he isn't. No, he isn't. That 35% is just seeing what they want to see, plain and simple. But Trump is like most people of his community. They talk a good game, but fall majorly short on delivering the goods. We've seen this so much throughout history, past and present. It's not shocking that he's doing these things. It's the norm. Talk a good game, fall short on action. Story of their lives. All right, let's move on. But even with historically low approval ratings, 2016 voters say a hypothetical rematch between Trump and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton would still be too close to call, according to the poll. Both the president and Clinton would receive 40% of vote among those who showed up to the polls last November. Among the overall sample, which skews Democrat, Clinton would win the rematch 41 to 34%. Um, to me, neither one are good, but let's move on. The poll is not all bad news for Trump. The president constantly criticized congressional Democrats for obstructing his agenda. According to the poll, Americans agree with him. 61% of those polled said leaders of the Democratic Party are mainly criticizing versus 28% who said the party is presenting alternatives. Increasingly, in November 2009, questions about the Republican Party generate nearly identical sentiments in a poll when President Barack Obama was in office. According to the week's bombshell Russia probe, News, 51% of respondents say the president is cooperating with special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 election and possible collusion with Trump's campaign, compared to 37% who said Trump is not cooperating and 12% who had no opinion. Trump ain't hardly cooperating. Who is taking these polls? Are y'all polling the opioid addicts? Because Trump is not cooperating. Go look at his tweets. His tweets could pretty much sum up how he's cooperating. He's been deflecting ever since the first subpoenas were served. The first charges, he's been on Twitter ever since, trying to deflect on everybody else. So they must be polling the opioid addicts, y'all. Okay, just under 70% of respondents approve of the charges against Paul Manafort, Trump's former campaign chairman, who stands accused of money laundering and failure to register as a foreign lobbyist, the latter which is required by law. The poll was conducted from October 29th to November 1st and reached a random sample of 1,005 U.S. adults via landline and cell phone. The overall margin of errors is 3.5 percent points. So there you go. Trump has the lowest approval rating in under a year since 1946. That was the last time this happened in America. Like I said, we pretty much know Trump's track record. We know he's full of shit from his New York days, and I'm not surprised that he is in the toilet. I'm waiting for this man to fall in a negative, because that's where he's heading. Don't be surprised if you look at a poll and it's like -10 or -15. Please leave your comment and subscribe. And if you can, ring on that notification bell, please do. That way you don't miss any of my videos as they post. Peace, family.